Buffett's era may be ending in finance, but over in entertainment, a new kind of power struggle is unfolding. Paramount, Netflix, and Warner Bros. Are in full blown bidding war for streaming supremacy. Now, we did cover this story last week, the deal between Netflix and Warner Bros. Discovery that was supposed to reshape Hollywood. Netflix announced a planned acquisition of Warner Bros. Discovery Studios and streaming assets in a deal worth roughly 72 billion, but almost immediately critics raised red flags about market share, debt, and consolidation. This week, the battle got much bigger and more dramatic. On Monday, Paramount Skydance launched a hostile bid to take over all of Warner Bros. Discovery offering about 108.4 billion in all cash, debt-free deal directly to shareholder. That's about $30 per share in cash, significantly higher than Netflix mix of about $27.75 per share, which relied heavily on debt financing. Paramount isn't just trying to buy Warner Bros., it's trying to derail the Netflix deal. Paramount CEO David Ellison wrote directly to Warner Bros. Discovery shareholders saying its offer is superior because it's higher, all cash, and avoids the financial risk of leveraged debt, which could complicate Netflix integration and growth plans. Now, debt matters because Netflix offer rely heavily on loans and bonds, which means its strategy is not risk adverse. However, Paramount all cash bid eliminates that. This is a big deal for shareholder, but it also affects consumers because debt can lead to subscription hikes and less reinvestment in shows. President Donald Trump weighed in saying that the Netflix Warner deal could be a problem because of market share size and a regulatory review is underway, so regulators in the US and Europe will be watching this closely. Now, here's my take. I personally like the Netflix deal. Netflix has shown us time and time again that they can be innovative, taking old brands like Blockbuster, which no longer exists, and turning them into something new. They support creators even when controversy hits. Remember Dave Chappelle? He had that pushback in the spotlight. Netflix pretty much said, go yourself. They protected him, his work, and his free expression. That's a company that's not only innovative, but they also protect entertainment culture. And for me, that's very important. Where I do have a problem with is the debt that they are willing to take on to close this deal. Netflix deal relies heavily on borrowed money. I'm going to remind you guys that our subscription has gone up over the years from around $8 to $9 a month in 2010 to roughly $15 a month in 2025 in the US and even higher in some regions. If the company takes on more debt to finance acquisition, what does that mean for consumers who are already feeling the pinch filling our fridges? Now, for Paramount, I like the debt free cash offer. It's safer for the company financially and for shareholders. And, just looking at the business perspective, it just makes sense. It's also good for us as well because we have service price protection. But I mean, let's be real. Who actually subscribes to Paramount? I did for like 30 days and it was like, oh, try it for free for 30 days. And if 30 days you like it, that's when we'll start charging you. So I didn't even last for like 2 weeks. I signed up for it and like a few days in, I just like, yeah, no, I'm good. Went back to Netflix. They actually haven't shown the same ability to push entertainment forward as Netflix has with their docu-series, their shows, their blockbuster content. So here's the reality. Netflix, innovative, culturally protective, debt heavy. With Paramount, it's debt free, safer financially, but unproven for innovation. At the end of the day, Paramount is a smart financial move. Netflix is a cultural and creative move. Consumers and shareholders will decide which matters more. We, as the people, care about innovation. A staple Netflix has been crowned for decades. But let's not forget Price hikes with Netflix are a big reason why we have a love and hate relationship over the years with this company. This debt free aspect is key though. Netflix offers requires billions in loans and bonds, which increases financial risk if streaming growth slows. Paramount all cash bid eliminates that risk, gives shareholders immediate room to be flexible, and it just gives them more certainty. And the twist has sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry. Netflix shares have slid as uncertainty grows. Warner Bros. Stock jumped on the news of bidding war. Paramount stock climbed as investors respond to its bold, debt free move. But the story is deeper than just dollar amounts. President Donald Trump weighed in saying that the Netflix Warner deal could be a problem, as mentioned earlier, because of the size of the combined market share, and that the government review is coming. He acknowledged he wasn't fully briefed on all the details, but said that the deal and the regulatory review will proceed. That concern isn't just coming from nowhere. Analysts warn that if the merge of Netflix, Warner's entity controls a massive share of streaming subscribers and content rights, regulators, both in the US and the Europe, could challenge the merger under antitrust laws. Paramount's argument is competition and financial certainty. They've said combining their assets with Warner Bros. Entire company, including cable network like CNN, TNT, and HBO, is a more balanced way forward, without adding risky debt to the equation. But it's not just about industry structure, politics and influence are now part of the narrative too. Paramount's bid includes backing from investors with political connection, includes Jared Kushner, affinity partners, which may raise concerns about possible conflict of interest. So, what does all this mean? Netflix deal is now under heavy review with debt risk a major factor. Paramount all cash, debt free offer is now center stage, potentially more appealing to risk adverse shareholders. Regulators will scrutinize both proposal for competition and financial soundness. Warner Bros. Shareholders have a real choice, not just between offers, but between very different risk profile. This bidding war and the regulatory fallout could stretch into 2026 as each side vies not just for the company, but for the control of Hollywood's future.